Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about functions, how to reuse code and make it modular. Today's topic is one of the most important building blocks in programming and data structure, that is arrays in C++. In this video, you are going to learn what is an array, how they work, and how are you going to use in DSA. What is an array? An array is a collection of elements of the same data type stored in a contiguous memory location. Let's take an example. Let's see, if you want to use multiple variables in a program, what you are going to do? You will be writing int a equals to 5, int b equals to 7, int c equals to 10, int d equals to 14, and so on. But at some point you cannot write individual variables because it will become too lengthy and you cannot come up with variable names every time. So to solve this issue, arrays come in picture. Basically it is a collection of elements. So what kind of elements we are talking? If we are having a element as a integer, we having element as a string, we having element as a boolean, or we have a element as a character. So it is a collection of elements which is having same data type, and our data types are int, string, bool, char, float. It is storing int here, int, so on. So basically if you are creating an array, it will be storing only one type of data, but it can store multiple data in a single array. And here is one thing, in a contiguous memory location. Whenever you are declaring a variable, our computer stores these variables in a memory. So whenever you are creating an array and you are storing it, let's say our first block of an array will store at some memory 100, then our next block of array will store at the memory of 101, and next block will store at 102. So basically it will start storing data in an array in a contiguous memory location. So you can say that we are grouping same type of data in a single block. Okay, similarly we can create another array which only contains strings. Now look at this statement, same data types. What will happen if you store string in a first block, int in a second block, then char somewhere here? Will this valid? No, this is not valid. Only same type of data you can store in a single array. Let's create an array. To create an array, first we have to define data type. Let's start with int. After defining data types, now we have to make a array name or similar to the variable name. So let's say I will create a name. Now whenever we are creating an array or declaring an array, we have to assign the size of an array. Means we have to assign the number of blocks that array can store. Let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Here we can see size of an array is 7. Similarly here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Here our size of an array is 9. So you can store up to 9 values here, you can store up to 7 values here. So while declaring a variable, you have to assign the size of an array. This is our syntax. Let's say I'm assigning size of an array is 7, and if I leave it here, this array will store garbage values. Our garbage value can be any random numbers, unpredictable. But if we want to assign some number, after declaring we have to assignment operator, then curly brackets. Now how many elements can be stored in array? 7. 1 2 3 10 14 15 20 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So these many values we can store and in an array. If you try to store one more value here, it will give an error. Okay, so this is how we declare our array, and this is how we initialize our array. I already told you why we use array, why we use arrays. Arrays helps us store large amounts of data efficient. If we try to store large amount of data in a variables, it will be going too hard to access them and to remember the variable name also. So arrays will help to store similar type of data in a single variable. Now we created array. Okay, so we created an array. Let's write the number 1 2 3 10 14 15 20 21. So we created our array, but how we are going to access the array, right? Because let's say I want to value of 10, if I want to value of 20, how I am going to get it? To access values in an array, there is something arrays use, which is indices, or we can say indexes. So whenever we are declaring an array, our first block will start from index 0, then after that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So always remember our index number start from 0 and will continue till here. Let's say what is the size of an array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. So our number is starting from 0 ending at 7. So we can say our indexes is starting from 0 till 8 minus 1, right? So whenever you want to find last index of an array, just calculate the size of an array, minus 1. It will tell you the last index of an array. So we have indexes here to access our array. Now what is the syntax? Let's say I want to print this 10 value. So first I will write cout, then what is the name of the array? Let's take it marks. Okay, so first we will write marks, then square bracket. Now at what index our 10 value exists? It is at index 3. So I will write 3 here. So it will print 10. Let's look at another example. Marks. Let's say I want to access 20. What is the index number of this element? It is 6. I will write 6 here and it will print 20. Okay, so when you want to print, you have to cout, then array name, then square bracket and the index number. Okay, now let's say I want to update this 14 to 30. So how I'm going to do it? To update this number, so we have to basically assign again. So we can assign, right? Marks, what is the index number? 4 equals to 30. So it will replace the 14 and will assign the 30 number. Now I'm saying we can access our array just like that, and also we can reassign the values. But if our size is, let's say, around 50 or 100 or 1000, will you be printing again and again, like cout, then again cout, then cout 1000 times? No. So for this kind of situation, we learned loops, right, which was automatically doing repetitive tasks. Here we are also doing repetitive tasks, but only index numbers are changing. So if I want to print all the elements in an array using loop, how I am going to do it? Let's write our for loop first. For int I equals to 0. Now why I am writing I equals to 0? Because our index number is starting from 0. Okay, and what is the condition? Our condition is 8, because our size of an array is 8 and I plus plus. Remember one thing, your array size is 8, but you are going till the index number 7. So if you try to go till index number 8, it will give an error. You cannot go beyond this index or it will give an error. So I'm writing here I less than equals to 8. So 7 less than equals to 8 true, 8 less than 8 false. So I can write. Now I just have to print cout marks. Now what is happening? Our indices is starting from 0 till 7. So we are increasing indices at every iteration. So we can see our I also increasing at every iteration. So I can use I here. Let's write endl also. So what it will do? Initially our I equals to 0. Then it will replace I with 0. So marks 0's value is 1. Then in the next iteration, marks 1. What is the value at index 1? It is 2. Mark at index 2. What is the value? 3. And marks at index 7. What is the value? 21. So it will print in this order. Okay, that's how we are accessing our whole array. Let's create new file, arrays.cpp. First we are going to write our hashtag equal id namespace std int main. Now first let's declare our array. Int mark, let's take a size of array is the 5. Then let's not initialize first. Let's try to print mark. Let's try to print at index 0. Printing at 0 is printing 0. So C++ assigning 0 to the all element. Let's try to print at index 5. Do we have an index 5 here? No. Why? Because our array size is 5. So our index will start from 0 and it will go till 4. So if we are trying to access index number 5, it will give an error. If you try to access array outside the index number, it will give an undefined behavior. So it is giving any random number called garbage value. Now let's assign the values. Let's try at the index number 3, it will print 46. Okay, and if I try to print at index 0, it will 456. Then after that, now let's print our whole array. To print our whole array, we can write the out again and again, but too simple that task. We are going to use loops. Print I less than 5 and I plus plus cout mark I, and let's handle. So this time it will print 56, then 34, then 23, then 450, and 20. Array can is printing our whole array. Let's do a simple problem. Let's say I want to return a sum of these numbers. I want to 56 plus 34 plus 23 plus 450 plus 20. I want to add them up and print it an answer. If we are printing, we want a variable which will store the sum. So I'm going to initialize from 0. Now we are adding one value at a time. So to add value one at a time, I will do sum plus equals to marks of 5. And after summing them up, let's print our sum here. Now what is happening here? We can write sum equal to sum plus marks I, like that, right? Initially we had a sum equals to 0. Then at I equals 0, our sum becomes 0 plus what is the value of at 0 index 50. So our sum value is 56. At I equals to 1, our sum become 56 plus what is the value of index 1, 30. So what is happening? Our sum is storing 56. So at next iteration, our sum become 56 plus 34 is basically 90. At I equals to 2, sum become 90 plus what is the value at index 2? It is 23. So it is become 103, 113. Okay, so what is happening at every iteration? The previous sum which we were storing is keep continuing to add in the next element. So our answer will be 592, which is sum of these numbers. So this is one of the example to use array and loop simultaneously. In the future, you are going to use more such these logic and problems. Now let's say here I assigned the array size 5. If you want to take a array size from an user, so what we'll do? You first write n. We declared n. Let's take a value n as an input. Okay, now I don't want to keep my array size as a 5, but I want to keep as a n, because whenever you input a value, the n will goes in the array size and the array size will become similar as the n. Let's say n value is 67. So our array size also becomes 67. Okay, now you cannot initialize, or you don't want to initialize 67 values in an array. So you can use loops to assign the value to the array. So let's write 4 int I equals to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus, then scene marks, then I. So what is the loop doing is scene is for taking the input. So it is taking the input and assigning to this array at that index. So when I equals to 0, at 0 index, it will assign some value. After this, let's print our array also. Let me copy this and see out here. Let's assign also add spaces in between. Okay, now I'm not going to take C7, I'm going to take around 10. Okay, let's run this code. Now I have to assign, let's say 10. 10 is my value of n. Now after entering the 10, it is stops here, means we have to give some input here. So I have to give 10 value, 3 space 5. Giving after every value, you have to put space or enter. It can recognize you are entering new value. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, one more value. Let's hit enter. Here you can see it printed our array. Okay, that's how you are going to take an array size as an input and also taking values as an input for an array. Okay, that's it for an array. Let's move to the next type of arrays. Now we know this is an array. Okay, or we can say this is 1D array because it is has only one dimension, which is horizontal. Okay, now let's talk about 2D array, or we can say matrix. So we can say our 2D array is like this. We already discussed in our pattern printing, our outer loop controls rows, inner loop controls columns. So it is a matrix. It does also contain rows and columns. columns. So when we are accessing our 2D array, we need a outer loop and we need a inner loop. Okay, now let's first see how we are going to declare our 2D matrix. It is similar to the 1D array. Int, let's take a name mat, short form matrices, first square bracket, which will decide our size of rows. So what is the size of rows here? 0, 1, 2, 3, but our size of the rows is 4 because indexing is starting from 0 to 3. Now we will write another square which will decide the size of our columns. It is also 4. So that's how we declared our 2D array. Let's also initialize them. To initialize, we first write curly brackets, then we will write another curly brackets which will be writing our number. So I have to create 4 rows. So this is our 2D array. First curly brackets covering whole other 1D arrays. You can take them as a 1D arrays, then 1D's arrays is inside another array. So this is our 2D array. Let's say I want to access this. I will write cout mat. Okay, its syntax is similar to 1D array, but we need 2 square bracket here. Now, how we are accessing the index number of this block? Okay, our first square bracket is for row, our second square bracket is for column. So, what is our row number here for this block? It is 1. So, I will write here 1. What is our column number for this block? It is also 1. So, I will write 1. So, you can say it is similar to the coordinate system where you have x and y value. With x and y, you can access or pinpoint certain point on a graph. Similarly, here you can say you have two indexes, row and column, which help you access certain cell in the matrices. Okay, now let's say I want to print this whole 2D matrix. So our outer loop control rows, our inner loop control, so means we have to write nested loop. So let's write for int I equals to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus. Now we will write another loop for int j equals to 0, j less than 4, j plus plus. Now let's print cout mark I comma j, and let's also add spaces, and after printing every row we will move to the next line similar to the pattern print. I is our row, j is for our column. Okay, let's run this program. Let's first declare 2D array. Int mat 4 4. Let assign values here. Then this completing this, we have to assign again copy paste here. So you can see in a single array we have 4 values, and our whole 2D array contains 4 rows. So let's print it out. 4 int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus 4 int j equals 0, j less. Okay, not and we are using 4 here. 4 j plus plus, then the out matrix of I comma j. Let's add spaces here, and after printing a row, let's move to the next line. Let's run this code. Here you can see it is printing our array. Now let's take a input from the user. Let's declare two variable row call. For this we are taking input from the user. Okay, you can declare multiple variable in a single data type by separating with commas, and also take a input in a single line. Okay, so I'm taking row first. Then now let's remove this array and add here row size and then call size. Now let me write here row and here call. Now before printing we have to take input from the, so I'm going to the array here, and I'm going this time remove here, and I'm going to write scene. So what I'm saying, outer loop will run for a row, inner loop will run for a column, and at every cell we are going to take some value as a input. Let's run this program. So according to our program we have to give first row and column. So let's give 2 2. Now we have to give value, so I'm going to write 34. So we have a 2 by 2 matrix, so I can only give this value. Here you can see it is printing the array. Okay, similarly you can char also. Similarly you can do for 1D array. You can try it by yourself. Let me show you to use with char. First let's say 2 2. I can give a char. You know char can contain one character. If you try to write multiple, it will give an error. Here you can print our character of 2D arrays. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day.